Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, Stephen Badagliaco.
And?
G, hi. Question.
Yes.
Is it really their comedy history podcast or is it our comedy history
Well,
podcast?
if we're
Does it belong to them?
We don't like communism.
If we're
I don't think we're a corporation.
Yeah.
Like, we
We
don't
are-
have shareholders.
we are a
We're
corporation.
not publicly traded.
Not yet.
I
And
mean,
we
you
won't be
might
with that attitude. No, but like if we're here and they're here,
It's our time
it's
down
our
here.
time. Yes.
Down here,
I
it's our
follow
time.
Spicoli thinking.
Mr. Hand, isn't it our time?
That was quick. That was a quick one.
What's new?
Nothing. So we're doing Shadow of the Vampire.
Spooktober continues.
It is.
Yeah. I think we're starting to hit a lull of the guests. I don't foresee
Enough with the guests.
yeah.
I've had enough.
You're
fucking
done with guests?
Yes, there's just too many of them.
We
have too many friends.
months and months of guests.
yeah.
So
I think November.
I haven't picked a movie in like 14 movies, maybe more, because of the guests.
See, that's what the listeners want. The inside details
Yes,
of how
the listeners
we
want to know
operate.
how I'm annoyed because we haven't talked about any actual history in months. It's all just shit from the 20th century.
What do you mean?
We just did 300.
All right,
Yeah.
that's true. But it's like a gay comic book version of history. Where
No,
is
it's
the
manly, it's
dry,
manly,
boring
it's manly.
history? That's what I like.
It's coming. I think November we're gonna have a decent
Quick
amount
question.
of that.
Yeah.
Like your personal office, you're looking for a house now. Like little tidbit about what you're.
Yes,
up
I just
to
sold my
nowadays.
house. I've been looking for a new house.
You're looking for a new house.
Yes.
When you get one, I'm assuming you're gonna have some space for like office or whatever it may be. Are
Yeah,
you just gonna
that's the
have like
idea.
wooden panel walls and like a wooden chair and like that's it?
Just wood.
Like just the
Like
most
it's the
plain,
70s?
boring like
panel. Who has wooden panels?
That's what my basement was before it got
Yeah,
flooded.
that's
It
right,
was
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
You loved it.
It was
Yeah.
so awesome. I was like, this is gonna be the sickest man cave. And then a week into owning the house, I got hit with a flood.
he's the only person on earth that thinks wooden panels are cool. So at least you'll impress one guy.
I kind of like the idea of wooden panels. It's very 80s.
Yeah. I think it's good for a basement. I
I
wouldn't
just
want it
think
throughout
your
my whole
office
house.
just because what you like just is gonna be boring.
I like the whole centerpiece of my aesthetic in my house is literally just my racks of
It's
CDs.
a map.
And I put up a map.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got a map.
I
Yeah.
thought it was the your big basement that you plan to have so you could fit your coffin with dirt from your native soil.
Because I am vampiric.
Yes.
apparently. I don't think I give off vampire.
This is how
vibes.
Ant sleeps.
Upside down.
Yeah, upside down.
Sleeping like this adds 10 years to your life. That's why Keith can't be killed by conventional weapons.
Yeah, Shadow of the Vampire.
Yes.
Have you
I was
seen
so
this
happy
before?
to do this.
I haven't seen this in probably 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Because this movie is like forgotten and not streaming anywhere.
Mhm.
Well, there's a swastika in it.
There is one,
Yeah.
but that's not why.
No.
I saw it on TV like years ago, and I didn't like watch the whole movie. I saw like clips, scenes from it.
Okay.
But that's all my entire experience with this. I really didn't know much about it. My brother suggested we do this.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
He
a
likes
movie
it.
I like. Had you guys seen Nosferatu?
I've never seen it. Obviously, I know it by reputation.
I hadn't seen it until yesterday.
You watched it.
I
really?
watched
it.
I watched a little bit of it too.
I
yeah.
watched it in preparation for this.
Is it as great as everyone says?
No.
No, it's garbage.
It's not garbage. It's not garbage.
I mean, compared to what we're used to.
Look,
You are literally the first person I've ever heard say that. Like everyone loves this.
I think that
It's important.
I think
Yeah,
they
of
love
course
it
it's-
because of what it is and
Mhm,
like
yeah.
what it
And when
leads
it's
to
from,
and
yeah.
when it's from. They give it a lot of credit. I was just grading it based on an enjoyment standard. And first of all, I'm a big Dracula fan.
You like silent
Mhm.
movies, like so that's not it.
I like silent comedies. I haven't watched too many silent horrors and dramas.
Have you seen Metropolis?
I have not seen Metropolis. I've seen The Man Who Laughs. I've seen Chaplin, Keaton.
I tried to watch Metropolis many years ago, and I couldn't get through it. It was just like too much.
It's hard, man, for a modern audience, but I think there is a lot of merit in silent film.
Sure.
Like as far as like telling a story sequentially, I think like it's really important to be able to do it, to tell your story completely visually. You know?
Well, it's
So-
kind of like just a moving comic, right? That's what it is. It's like, here's the text of what you're saying, and then here's some movement.
Well,
instead of
it's
just a
not
still
even that
picture.
much text. You know, you want to be able to limit your titles.
You want to use that as sparingly as possible.
Yes.
Yes, but it's how I think of, like, I see like a graphic novel kind of thing. Like, oh, here's some text, and then you see some pictures.
Those are for only the things that you cannot communicate.
Mhm.
You know,
Conversation between two
Like,
characters.
there's
yeah.
important information that we must give the audience for context.
Yeah.
And like Nosferatu, when you watch it, there's like a lot of like lore about vampires that'll come up on screen, things like that.
Mhm.
But
Steve, you didn't like Nosferatu either?
So, like Brian, I didn't really see it until last night.
Oh, you watched it too?
And I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm like, let me skim through the parts that are like famous. Let me look at like
because they do recreate some scenes in this movie.
That's what I wanted to see. The scenes that were recreated to kind of get a basis. But it just doesn't look terrifying. It doesn't look scary. Where in Shadow of the Vampire, the scenes actually look scarier than they are in the actual movie, which is, you know, makes sense, but
you can see a lot of the visual influence on like some modern stuff, especially like Tim Burton-y.
Definitely.
yeah,
it's very dark.
I think this is part of like that German expressionism in silent film. Like, you know, all those shadows and stuff like that. But look, I have to be honest. I'm a huge Dracula fan. It's like one of my favorite movie characters.
Dead and Loving It, right?
I do love Dracula Dead and Loving It. The scathing Vietnam. But like I was Dracula like 2 or 3 years in a row for Halloween as a kid.
Yeah, I remember
Like
that.
I wanted to be Dracula.
Really?
And and I like wanted to be Dracula's son because like he has a son in some movies called Alucard.
Yes.
Is
the Gentle Giant song.
your favorite
Yeah.
Iced Earth song, Dracula?
It's one of them. Yeah, I love the
It's a
song
good
Dracula.
It's a good song.
For true love, I will live.
That's an accurate description of the song too.
Is Matt Barlow here right
Yeah.
now? What an impression.
Is Barlow in this room? The one metal dude is like, fuck yeah. But
You believe in love.
I am the dragon. Anyway, continue.
yeah. So I love depictions of Dracula, and because I grew up like watching the Bela Lugosi version, or
We used to watch that a lot.
yeah, or like
Yeah.
Frank Langella, or
What's his name?
Christopher Lee,
Zorg. Zorg did it.
Gary Oldman.
Gary
Yeah.
Oldman.
That version I didn't watch until later, but
I like that version too.
my
also featured in an Iced Earth song.
Yeah.
yeah.
That movie is clipped. Like there's a line from that movie in Burnt Offerings.
Mhm.
Really?
It opens it. You know, I was betrayed.
Okay.
What your God has
Done to me. Dun, dun. There's an Iced Earth fan out there. Like, this is the best episode of podcasting ever.
But like, so for me, I prefer my Dracula when he looks like a human
Twilight.
who's in society and like infiltrating.
Blade.
Not just the Blade shit.
Motherfucking Daywalker.
Daywalker.
I do like that shit. But like I like my Dracula where it's like he's the
Twilight.
regal count, you know?
Oh, yeah,
I don't like him like when he's
As like a creature of the night.
when he's more beastly. To me, it's less interesting when he's just pure monster.
I love what they did in The Witcher. The Witcher series.
I didn't watch
Yeah,
that.
I didn't watch that either. I'm talking about the video game.
Okay.
Oh.
I didn't
got-
play that.
You
Yeah,
got
played it.
different kinds of vampires, right? So you got the high vampire, and those are your
They smoke weed.
your Count Dracula. Your Count Dracula types, they can blend in with
I
society.
want
They're
to
very
smoke your
dangerous,
weed,
very
man.
powerful. Those are
Bro.
the high vampires.
What's
and then
what's
you have
drinking blood
lesser
all about?
vampires who are like bat creatures that have to live in sewers and caves and dungeons and things.
I like that. I like that,
That makes
concept.
sense.
Yeah.
But they're
That's
all
cool.
related,
Yeah.
you know.
Like you're not a good vampire. You kind of just go to the sewer.
So I
like
guess
it.
Count Orlok would be more of the latter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Shadow of the
But he
Va-
wasn't, apparently.
Right.
Like he
Well-
was like a prestigious like Dracula-esque person, and then eventually time just decrepit
Yeah,
him.
he's just so old. He's like
Yeah.
thousands of years old.
Yes.
He knew Plato.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Shadow of the Vampire is a movie about the making of Nosferatu, and Max,
But in a fictionalized
in a fictionalized
silly
way.
I
yeah.
like it.
And
so
Max
much.
Schreck in this movie is an actual vampire.
Yeah.
And because the movie is about making a horror movie, I thought we should call someone who has made a horror movie. So let's give
You?
a call to. I haven't made a horror movie yet.
Oh, there's it horrible.
Nailed him.
I almost killed him.
I really enjoyed that. That was so good, Steve. That might be line of the day already. So let's call up my new friend Matthew Bonta.
Okay.
Bonta Tracks.
Bonta. Who is this guy? Do we know him?
He's a filmmaker. I've met him briefly. He listens to the show, and he got in touch with me, and we started talking, and we kind of became buddies.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm excited to talk.
And you were just recently on his show. Can people go hear that?
Yeah.
Mr. Bonta.
Hello. What's up?
Hello. You're on the show Reviewing History. It's nice to speak with you.
Absolutely. What's going on, guys?
So, hey, Matt, how you doing?
Not too bad.
So we're talking about the movie Shadow of the Vampire. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so obviously that movie is about a Nosferatu that is a member of, well, he is a vampire. When you were filming your new movie, Midnight Bloodshed, did you have any fear that your actor was in fact Jason Voorhees?
Oh man. I had no fear whatsoever.
So you didn't feed like the script girl to your actor.
Unfortunately, no, I did not.
I take it you've made a slasher picture?
I have.
Would you like
I
to
have
say
made
a
a
few
slasher
words
picture.
about it?
Yes, I would. We spent last summer, like 5 months last year, making it, and we finally released it earlier this year. And we have another Friday the 13th coming up this month. I don't know when you guys are dropping this episode, but
After.
Well then, whatever. You can watch it on any day of the week, any day of the year, really.
What's it called?
It is called Midnight Bloodshed, and it's a Friday the 13th fan film, and you can find it at sequelproductions.com. Sequel Productions is my production company. That'll take you right to the YouTube. It's on there.
Does your Jason wear the hockey mask?
Of course he does. He wears the hockey mask.
Because I learned last week when we talked about the movie The Burning that the original Jason, no hockey mask.
That's right. The original Jason had a sack on his head.
Yeah, he looks like a Klansman. And he has one eye hole. He only has one eye hole. Yeah. So if you're on his left side, you may get away.
I love bringing up Jason X because doesn't his mask, isn't it like a metal?
It melds into his skin.
Yeah.
Jason has the same visuality as a trucker making a left turn.
Yeah, remember in 2002, it would be terrorists go to the right.
Yes.
The left side is American on the back of a truck.
That's one of the most subtle good jokes in Blazing Saddles when what's his name? Mongo rides into town riding an ox, and it says yes on one ass cheek of the ox and no on the other.
Great visual joke.
So this movie, is this one of your earlier films, or have you produced other things before this?
Oh yeah, no, I've been doing it for about proper feature films for about the last 10 years or so. This is my fifth. Midnight Bloodshed is my fifth movie. We just finished our sixth one last in August, and we're working on that right now in the editing.
Oh, nice.
So this is a heavily based on 80s slasher movies, I'd imagine.
Just the history of Friday the 13th. Just kind of a deep dive on some of the deeper stuff for Friday the 13th.
Are there tits?
Those there are not. There will not be.
Brian's not gonna watch it.
I did watch it.
He watched it already.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the budget. It wasn't in the budget.
So I did like it, but I think when I was on his podcast, I was like, I have one question for you. Why were there no tits in your movie? So I didn't have
the budget for it.
I understand. I'm kind of like Patrick Stewart in Extras when he's talking to Ricky Gervais, where he just wants nudity
in it.
I'm kind of like Patrick Wilson in The Conjuring 2, just fucking ripped.
So what about Jason drew you to him and made you want to make a fan film about him?
No sleeves ever.
I just grew up with horror movies, right? And my mom and my aunt, they like tried to torture me as a child with horror movies as much as possible, and I just really got into the 80s stuff like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, the Halloweens, and so on.
I'd hate to tell you how my father tortured me as a kid.
How?
Well, every morning.
Well, I've listened to your episodes, guys, so I've heard some stories.
So every morning I would be woken up at 6 and I would have to do like physical training and stuff like that. So it was quite the thing.
Just doing PT constantly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where can people see your film?
On my YouTube page, Sequel Productions. And if you go to sequelproductions.com, that'll take you right there. It should be the main video since that's my most recent film.
All right.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I was on your podcast recently, which I'm going to take and put on our feed at some point. I haven't asked your permission, but I'm going to do this anyway.
Absolutely. I meant to talk to you about that because I see all your other ones when you're on other people's podcasts. And I was like, I wonder if you're going to get around to asking me or just do it, which is fine too.
I was just going to do it, yeah. But I guess this is kind of my way of asking your permission. I'm of the mindset.
Put them under the gun so that it's public to everyone.
Yeah, I like to follow the axiom: better to beg forgiveness than ask permission, which is how I have all my sex too.
Hey, well, that's how we make independent movies, right? You don't got the money, you don't got permission, just fucking do it and hope for the best.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Matt, thank you. I really like talking to you, and you're a good guy that I could talk with about film. So thank you, man. Thanks for coming.
And one day I'm going to come out there to your neck of the woods and be on your guys' podcast.
And when you do, Anthony will buy you a sandwich from his favorite deli.
Sounds great.
All right.
That's
thanks,
it,
Matt.
on the spot.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Thank you again.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
I guess you're buying a sandwich.
He's never coming out here. He's all the way in Nevada. That's like a 20-day drive.
Yeah, but if it's in the budget for us to book him out here, I'm willing to spend the money from our company budget so he is forced to buy a sandwich.
This is like the plot of a fucking Pawn Stars episode. You guys are ridiculous. Boy, I don't want to buy that sandwich.
All right, Shumley. So
I guess I got to watch that movie now, huh?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's worth watching.
Right.
It's good.
All right.
All right. So, Shadow of the Vampire.
John Malkovich. William Dafoe.
Malkovich.
William Dafoe. It is produced by Nicolas Cage.
Willem. You're a fucking dick.
Willem Dafoe. Produced by Nicolas Cage. It's already
really?
Yeah, it's already god tier.
Why isn't he in it?
It's produced.
I think he was originally going to be Nosferatu, and Willem Dafoe wanted to do it, and it's like
it's Willem.
Willem is better to play that role.
He's better. He's just a better actor.
Everything. Yeah. But that's already god tier in my book. It's like, yeah, this is good.
The cast is great.
Yeah, it's insane.
And I have a theory about what the movie's really about.
Really?
Yes.
I would love to hear this.
I think it's about method actors and ambitious directors being at odds with each other. That's really what it's about. This is a movie about filmmaking.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about the shadow of the vampire.
No, I mean,
it's not really horror. It's not like scary.
It's horror, but you know, I don't think it's like going to scare the shit out of anybody.
No.
Yeah, I think it's a creepy take on filmmaking, but I like where your idea is, where it's like directors
like
versus
that's what
actors,
it's about. Yeah,
which is interesting because I feel like it leans more into the fact that the director's trying to make art while the method actor's just trying to be it.
It's like, you ever hear those stories about Jared Leto when he was the Joker?
Yeah, and he would leave like bags of shit outside like people's trailers
and
send them dead rats.
Terrible things to like his co-stars.
Yeah, the documentary when Jim Carrey lost his mind, for Man on the Moon.
Right.
Where he like became Andy
Kaufman and just was annoying everyone.
Like the production almost got shut down.
I never
times.
saw this. Wait,
it's fantastic.
Wait, what is this?
Oh, this is a documentary that came out a couple years ago. That's just about Jim Carrey being Andy Kaufman.
They didn't release it until now because they felt like the press was so brutal.
Carrey.
Yeah, that they were like, we can't release this footage. And finally, he's like, I'm out of the spotlight. We could do it. and it's him. He would like just sit there. It's like me talking to you right now,
Yeah.
and like a switch would go off in his head, and he's just now Andy Kaufman. Like it's me, like a switch goes off my head, and now like I'm Ant.
So it's the Tropic Thunder joke.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. He lived it. Yeah.
Came out in a couple of box trying to reach to the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's him. Yes. It's a documentary about that joke.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. It's honestly really good.
But yeah, but my point being, like, Count Orlok in this movie, Max Schreck, is essentially Jared Leto. He's just being shitty to his co-stars. If you take away the fact that he's a vampire.
Yes.
Right?
Well, he's just killing people.
He's just a dickhead actor who's up his own ass. Because, like, they have these scenes where he's being vampiric and evil, and then everyone's reaction is just like, what a wonderful actor. He's just so good.
It's funny.
He's so dedicated.
Yeah.
The movie has some really funny moments.
Yes.
Everything is funny.
Eddie Izzard's in it, you know, and he's like a comedian.
The whole movie I felt was way closer to a dark comedy than it is a horror. There's so much funny stuff.
Yeah.
Like constantly. It's consistent comedy.
It's fun. It's a good movie.
And Dafoe is just, every time he's on camera, at first it's like, oh, he looks weird. And then he talks and does these mannerisms that it's like, this is actually funny. Mm-hmm. Like he's making me laugh.
I want to destroy.
I want to have her now. Like it's so funny. But
you can tell why they picked him to be the Green Goblin.
Yeah. I mean, he's a creepy looking guy.
He's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So I believe the intro, very long intro, 6 minutes. Yes. I counted it.
The opening credits are endless.
Yeah. Yeah. You could skip the first 6 minutes of this movie.
And it's not a long movie.
Hour and a half, maybe.
It's an hour 40 minutes.
And a nice chunk of it is just opening credits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which are like Art Deco medieval.
Well, they're capturing the silent film era credits.
Right, yeah.
You know?
But this is true, right? We're now couldn't use...
But before we get into the movie, can we talk about like the importance and legacy of Nosferatu? Because I'm sure you have something to say.
Well, we're about to.
Okay, yeah, we're going to jump into it.
So, obviously, the movie opens where it's like... They're giving you kind of the background after you sit through the endless credits about...
In alphabetical order.
Yes. Yeah. About the movie and the rights and how it, like, came about. So, they made this movie. They couldn't get the rights to Dracula. Bram Stoker's wife would not sell the rights. So, they're like...
Nosferatu, not Shadow of the Vampire you're talking about.
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, the actual film.
Yes, Bram Stoker's wife... the one book that he had that was like really successful was Dracula.
Yeah.
So it was her bread and butter. It was keeping her alive.
She cannot like let this go.
Right. So she didn't want it being used for anything. You know, it's just like sell the book. That's it.
Yep.
You know,
because if it's the movie, maybe people see the movie and then
this is also extremely early in the era of film.
Yes.
So
it's brand
nobody
new.
really knows what kind of. I don't think the idea that this would entice people to go buy the book was in her head.
No, not at all.
You know, because history tells us that's how things usually turn.
Yes,
out.
people. Oh, I like this. Now I'll go read the book.
Right. I think she probably was afraid this would be an alternative to reading the book,
or it would be bad or whatever,
or better.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
So they're unable to get the rights, and he's like, "Well, the production company is like, well, fuck you." Mm-hmm. We're just going to change some shit, change some names.
Right.
Instead of setting it in England, it's a German production. We'll set it in Germany and we'll make our own thing. Mm-hmm. Now,
interesting thing about that film production. It's called Prada Film.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So this was founded by a guy named Grau. And Grau is the producer of Nosferatu.
Yep.
He's portrayed in the movie. Mm-hmm.
He dies in the movie.
Yes, he does.
Did not die in real life.
No, he did not. He's like an avowed occultist.
Okay.
He's like into fucking supernatural devil worship.
I like that.
Do you know what got him into the idea of the movie?
Yes, I do.
Being
I was
in the
about to
occult?
say it.
Okay.
Do you want to
say
talk about it?
No, you can say
okay. So he was part of something called the Brotherhood of Saturn, which is like they get together and talk about spooky things, I guess.
It's like our podcast in October.
Every October.
Right? But he had a story about how during the First World War, this movie was filmed in 1920.
Yep.
So it's only 2 years after the end of the war. Europe is shattered. You know, they're living in the Weimar Republic. There's a little scene in the movie that in The Shadow of the Vampire that shows like the decadence of Weimar.
I got something to say about that too.
Okay.
You missed those days?
But he says that while fighting in the war, he was in Serbia. Mm-hmm. And he was in a town, and there was a guy who says that his father had come back to life after being dead and was just wandering around the town doing vampiric things. So they went and exhumed his like he'd get up at night, be a vampire, and then go back to his grave in the daytime. So they dug him up, and they found that he had giant fangs now and had turned into a vampire. So they had to stake through his heart. And this comes from that guy Grau. He says this was happening in the town, and this got him into vampires. And he's like, I want to make the Count Dracula movie. And it turned into Nosferatu.
Which I think is when they looked into that, how they came up with the idea for this movie.
Shadow of the Vampire.
Yes.
Yes. I think so too. This is a story he would tell years after making Nosferatu.
Yes.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, the movie ends up being made. And after it's made, Bram Stoker's wife, I forget her name, is furious.
Mrs. Stoker.
No, she's not. She went by her maiden
You don't
name
say.
after.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which is why I don't know it. But she so she sues, and it is ordered that all prints of the movie are destroyed.
Yes, the German government says all copies of Nosferatu have to be destroyed.
Wow.
Now, at this point, the film had been distributed
all over the world.
All over the world.
So you can't do it.
So many copies are destroyed.
Yeah.
But there's also some
that got through.
And now people are holding on to them. And now it's forbidden fruit. More people want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, after the lawsuit, she got an invite to a screening of Nosferatu.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like a private screening.
Did she like it?
I don't know if she went, but it was like an underground thing. Like, look, we're all going to watch Nosferatu.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the movie has this legacy, and Max Schreck,
By the way, Shrek in German
is terror.
Is terror. His name is Max Terror.
Yes, which is an awesome name for horror, right?
Yeah,
or a pornographer.
They go hand in hand. Even this movie had tits.
Yeah,
like in a copious amount. Actually, I know I forgot about that. But in 1921, right, it says he makes the most realistic vampire movie ever made. I guess for the time.
How do you make a realistic vampire?
How do you really say that? Yeah, it's hard to.
I feel like that's a claim when you're like, it's fictional.
I'll say this though: Dracula and vampires have been done to death over the century.
They're played out.
They are. There's tons of camp. There's tons of comedy and parody that's been done to them. This is before all of that.
Yep.
As far as Nosferatu, I'm talking about. So it's more honest, I think. It's more it's not blah,
right. It's traditional.
It's like
lore.
Here's some folklore.
Well, and that's the thing. This is very folklore inspired because vampires are an Eastern Europe myth mostly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
they come
really
from
where
like
it comes
Transylvania, Romania, Serbia, those places.
Yeah. Influenced by like Vlad the Impaler and shit like that.
Right.
Baba Yagas.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, have you heard about our pal Robert Eggers is making a Nosferatu remake?
Dude, I can't. I am so excited for that.
We
are seeing that opening weekend.
We will, but I'm making the call. This movie's going to be better.
Wait,
Shadow of the Vampire?
I think Shadow of the Vampire is going to be a better Nosferatu movie than the Nosferatu remake.
But he's remaking Nosferatu.
It's Robert Eggers, and we love him.
I know, but I'm making the call now. I feel like this movie's going to outplay it.
That's hard.
I know, but I think this is actually a good Nosferatu movie. It's a good vampire movie.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
I like it.
Yeah.
And it's what I was going to say before, like as realistic vampire movies go. And you said it's been beaten to death.
Yeah.
There are some like little gems and glimpses where they kind of take that concept and throw it on its head. Let the Right One In is one of them. Let Me In.
That's clever, yeah.
Fantastic, like vampire movie.
Korean.
No, I think it's Finnish.
Oh yes,
it was remade in America.
What was I thinking of? There's a fucking Korean vampire movie.
Thirst.
Yeah,
another good one.
I like that.
The guy from The Host is in there.
Yeah. So like, it is beaten to death, but I do like a good vampire movie, and this kind of brought my love back almost. Like I want to watch more vampire movies now.
What about Twilight?
No.
See,
that's not a vampire movie.
That's when they get ruined.
Yeah, that's not a vampire movie though.
Vampires and zombies have just been overplayed
in recent memory.
Yeah, and there's just a deluge of garbage within like those two genres that really hurts them.
Yeah.
And now I feel like possession and like ghost shit. I'm just like so sick of it.
It's making a big comeback.
It's like all the movies.
Yeah. But John Malkovich, his performance in this, utterly hysterical right out the gate.
Always great.
He looks fun. He has goggles on. He looks hysterical.
Yeah,
they're all wearing scientific lab coats.
They made him a weird mad scientist.
Yes.
And they call him doctor in the movie.
Yeah. Was he a doctor?
No,
he was a
just
filmmaker.
The director.
Right.
But his subordinates refer to him as doctor.
Well,
what's the name of the guy he's playing? Mueller?
Monroe.
Murnau. He has like a nice little monologue that's really good if you're a filmmaker, especially, which we'll get into a little bit later.
It's so pompous.
It's from a scientific like view.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's what made me think like, oh, this is about like
yes,
the director versus the actor, because he's an inside his own fucking head pompous asshole.
Yes,
you know,
but he's not wrong.
Well, he's willing.
He's
not wrong.
He's watching people be murdered in front of him, and he's just like, I gotta get the shot. You know,
well, he's willing to sacrifice everything for his art and his film.
Right.
You know, like
Well, it's to be immortalized.
Yeah, and at this point in his career, Monroe, how do you say it?
Murnau.
He was like he had made a bunch of silent films already, a lot of horror.
Murnau.
But they had been lost. They're lost. You can't see them anymore. Yeah. But this was like...
But he was somewhat of a legendary guy.
After this, yeah. He has a career well after this. You know, he's like, he moves to Hollywood and makes American movies. But like...
really?
Yeah, he's a legit director, you know, like, and he has a vision and he clearly has skill when you watch Nosferatu. You know, especially with his limited time.
I love the old school directing style, just sitting there talking about the scene.
Well, that's what's great when there's no sound. You could actually like
tell people what to do. Yeah,
you can actually direct and give
nice pussy. That's his opening line. It's him watching Pet the Cat. Nice pussy, meow, and he's just they're in the studio and he's like they can't wait to go out into the mountains and film. Like that's the opening of the movie.
I love that moment where the woman in the village walks into the shot while he's filming, and he goes, "There is a native in my shot.
Why is there a native in my shot?" And remember, like for us, it's so easy because we have these like electronic cameras. Film, especially back then, it's expensive and difficult to come by. So each time you mess up like that, it cost you a lot.
You can't fuck around.
No, which kind of makes sense why they were all in lab coats. It's like, no, we're scientists. Take this seriously.
I think it's also playing into that horror aesthetic, right? Like the mad scientist who's undone by his own creation and his sheer fucking hubris.
Love it.
So one thing about Murnau that is not played in the movie, which I think is kind of important and overlooked. I don't know if it's important, but it's a character trait which overlooked. He's homosexual.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
not in the movie.
In the movie, he's a straight guy.
As far he doesn't really have any romantic.
It appeared to me like he was straight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, he has a scene with, I believe,
he's definitely not over the top gay guy. That's definitely not happening.
Well, I don't think that was happening in any way in the 1920s.
Oh, in Weimar.
No. He has a scene with.
He does go to a weird cabaret with like lesbians.
Yeah, it's like what can only be described as a confused brothel. Like they have mustaches.
It's
drawn
fucking
on,
Weimar,
naked,
dude.
Yeah.
And there's like drugs and sex, but you don't know who's who. It's very confusing.
Alan Cumming is there.
This Frankfurt School thing's happening.
Maybe that's the tip of the cap to his homosexuality there.
Cabaret.
Yeah, maybe. What's the Alan
Cabaret?
No, I know it's Cabaret, but what was that commercial that?
Even the audience is beautiful.
Yeah. Was that like the Winter Garden Theater? That commercial ran all the time.
It's from the 90s, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's a scene with Greta where he says, "Don't you remember the time when you like sacrificed for pleasure?" And he kind of like grabs her hair.
Yes.
And I think that's also a hint of like, see, he probably was sleeping around with both sides.
Yeah, that's. I thought he was sleeping with her.
Yeah.
All right. So he's like, this role will make you great. This is what you will be known for.
Yep.
And he's like, we got to talk about the vampire. And he's like, don't worry about the vampire.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. You're going to see him. You're going to see him.
Yeah, you'll see him. You'll see his deal.
Do you think that's a good strategy outside of this, like the scary vampire thing? Let's say you're filming a horror movie with a monster and none of the actors see the monster until the day they shoot. Do you think that's a better effect?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll cite something. So when you watch Alien, right?
Yeah.
The famous scene with the chest burster.
Yes, yeah.
No one knew that was coming.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, they didn't
Nobody
know.
told them, yeah. They thought he was actually dying.
Like, he's laying there.
I thought he was choking, having a seizure, yeah.
Yeah, he's laying there, and we're like, what the hell is going on? And then the thing pops. I'm like, what the fuck?
Why didn't they break character?
Well,
it's actually real fear.
It cuts at that moment when they do the jump scare. It's like, ah! And then I think it cuts to, like, blood splashing on someone's face, if I remember.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, and then, they get back into the scene.
Yeah, well, Marlon Brando raped a woman on film. We learned that.
Yes.
I mean, does it count as rape if it's for method acting? That's like
my method is I'm going to get in that ass. So now they're like, who's playing the vamp? And we are introduced to
Mike
Shrek.
Myers playing Shrek. Oh.
Yes, yeah. Donkey. Hey, well, I'm doing donkey. Hey, donkey. I want to suck your blood. Could you imagine if like this movie was like
Max Shrek is love.
Shrek is life.
Shrek is life.
But every scene with Shrek was
wore
just
that shirt.
images.
Fuck. Why did I wear that shirt?
Every image of Shrek is like animated DreamWorks Shrek in Shadow of a Vampire.
That'd be great.
So he's like creeping.
Is he
on
dressed as a
people.
vampire or is he dressed as himself?
He's Shrek.
Okay. We could probably do that now.
Yeah.
You love Shrek, right?
Which one?
All of them.
All of them.
I do like all of them. Yeah.
If you don't like Shrek, who are you?
I've never seen anything but the first one.
At least you saw the first one.
Second one is good too.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, Puss in Boots, the last one is amazing.
Apparently, it's a masterpiece. Yeah,
it's like a masterpiece of an animated movie. Like, I couldn't believe how fucking good Puss in Boots was.
That villain,
Antonio Banderas.
You saw it, Steve?
Yeah, that villain is fantastic.
It's amazing. Like, I can't recommend this enough. I know it's
villain
a
is
stupid
death
kids
itself.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
The movie is about like confronting death.
Yeah, it's so
for
good.
children.
Yeah, like I don't like. It's cool though because like there's sword fights and shit. But as an adult, I'm watching this. I was like, this is about facing your end. Like, this is beautiful.
So
Shrek, man.
Shrek is playing Count Orlok.
Yes,
and
which is just a sideways version of Dracula.
Yeah,
it's the weird version of Dracula. I don't know which. I think I might like the Nosferatu version of a vampire more than the Dracula version. I like the creepiness. I think I do too. Yeah. I like that like long like fingernails and kind of like
I like him kind of creaturey.
Yeah, like not too creaturey, but elongated. Everything is longer. He's like thin. And...
You guys would probably like then
someone who's lost their humanity over time.
Yeah,
Voyage of the Demeter.
That's a new movie.
It was a new movie. I just watched it.
Oh, how was it?
I didn't like it because that's not the take on Dracula I like, and I didn't.
He's a monster,
and I didn't like some of the changes to the lore. Like he's a monster throughout the whole thing, but there's some cool moments in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the Van Helsing style where he's monster and count?
That I don't.
He can
mind.
go back and forth.
Yeah,
right? I like that too.
And I know people hate Van Helsing.
No, it's fucking great.
I actually like that movie.
That was like an action movie, right?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
It's Hugh Jackman.
Oh, so he's dancing and singing?
No,
he's a badass. He's a badass.
It's like when he's playing Wolverine and he's like pretending to be a straight guy.
So we find out Matt.
Oh,
Shrek
by the way,
is,
update on Hugh Jackman. He's releasing his memoir soon.
I'm getting it.
Oh boy!
And he said,
here it comes.
He said he's going to be finally revealing his true self.
Yes.
It's like we all know, man. We know it's cool.
But I want to know with who, because I want to be surprised by that.
Malkovich.
That would be fantastic. That would be so good.
Do you know that Malkovich was almost the villain in Spider-Man 4?
Oh, that would have been great.
He would have been. He's a good villain.
Before it got canceled.
How great is Burn After Reading?
Love it. Love it.
Movie. What about Being John Malkovich?
Well, yeah.
Great.
I mean, we've been referencing it.
But that movie's amazing.
Yeah, it is. We have your shit.
So we find out Shrek is a method actor, right?
Yes.
And we've kind of touched upon method acting before, you know?
Yeah.
Would you think your acting method is closer to that? Like you're a method actor?
I do go method. I have been preparing to star in a remake of The Whale with Brendan Fraser. I do not like the fat suit, and I think I need to lend some authenticity. So I've been doing everything on my power.
You're like a modern Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
So we get this scene. There's like a train. I love transportation, but we get like a monologue over the transportation scene, and it's Malkovich Murnau talking about how they're scientists engaged in the creation of memory, kind of like us. You know, that's what we do.
Well, yeah, because what they're doing with film is like this new thing.
It's immortalizing.
And in this movie, it's really like
he's talking about the moving picture and how it's a new art.
It's immortalizing.
It's
everything.
documenting these people and these faces. And in this case, in this movie, he's documenting the evidence of vampirism.
Yeah, he says I'm doing it for science at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sure, makes sense. And I think that when you look at the time period, and it's like, yeah, we're not painters anymore. It's like we're documenting life in itself. When you're like the competition between the two, right? If I'm documenting something and you're living something, which is more important? I guess that's from this. That's what I got from it.
That's an interesting take.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where do you lay? Do you think living is more important or documenting? I think that's the question about this whole movie.
I'm a salt of the earth kind of guy.
He takes pictures of the earth. You know. I think you live.
I live.
I think you've dressed up in different characters throughout your life. You've been a ninja.
I've been a ninja. A sportsman. All these different. I wear many hats.
Yeah. It's good.
Most of them have a devil's logo.
Most of them.
Or a TSD logo. Those are the two hats I wear the most often. So now we see what's it called? Max Shrek. Like they feed a ferret to
Poor ferret.
To
Count
Shrek,
Orlok.
Yeah.
I guess I should feed it to Max Shrek.
Shrek.
He's not in
and the real Max Shrek, obviously, he's not a vampire. But they make Yeah, I know.
You don't say.
They make it seem like he's vanished from the face of the earth.
No, he had a career.
He had a career before and after this.
I only about 10 years. He died.
Yeah, but I saw he was in over 800 movies.
He had a career long before this.
Yeah,
he's in a lot of shorts and things like.
Yeah,
In my mind, so before I really looked into him, I thought Max Shrek
was a mysterious
just
person.
Did this and that was it.
I thought he was actually like a deformed dude.
You didn't know that was makeup?
I thought he was just a fucked up guy.
I thought his eyebrows were just fucking like blocks.
Well, I thought there's obviously some changes, but I thought he was a fucked up guy who really wasn't an actor. And it was probably because I saw Shadow of the Vampire before Nosferatu. And I thought that they just took that and kind of expanded upon it. But he's a normal, good-looking guy. Yeah. The makeup in Nosferatu looks phenomenal, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
To this day.
Yeah, it still holds up.
Yeah. It's creepy. It is. It has that creepy feel to it. And I think they encapsulated that in this, too, because every time you look at Dafoe, he's just like this, like, almost rat-like.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, he's a bat rodent man.
And real quick, while we're talking about Max Shrek, do you know what movie has Max Shrek as a villain in reference to this character?
Yes, I do.
Bond?
No.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Oh.
Christopher Walken is Max Shrek.
Oh, shit.
And it's Tim Burton being like, look how cool I am.
Look what I know about.
Yeah. What do you know about Nosferatu?
Movies from the 20s.
What? Talk about pompous, Jesus.
You think Tim Burton's a little pompous?
You think? If you're like a big director, you have to be pompous, right? You have to be.
I would think so.
I think there's a level of pomposity you have to attain
to be an artist.
Yeah, just in general.
To put yourself out there, you have to.
Yeah, it's not like any of us here are pompous.
I think that's what's held me back.
You're not pompous enough.
You're a pompostic guy.
You think I'm pompous?
Nah, you know what? Now I'll rephrase that.
I'm the first one to be like, I suck.
Yeah, that's actually true.
He has dreams of being pompous. It's just his dreams don't work out.
Maybe. You're ambitious, but you're right. You're not pompous.
Yeah.
You're pompous.
I'll reject.
I am pompous.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I have false humility.
Right. I know too much that everyone else doesn't.
I am a genius.
But no ambition.
The weight on this memory card gets physically heavier when you speak because of the weight of your knowledge.
So now we get a point where Malkovich is talking to Dafoe and he's like, don't eat our cast.
And he's like, I'm gonna eat your cast.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Like,
well, yeah, this is the big reveal that he really is a vampire.
Why does he keep going for Wolf? What does he have against Wolf? He keeps biting Wolf.
That guy was Lepidus in Rome.
He kept going after the same guy until he had to get sent away.
Yeah, we see he's sick.
Yeah,
but he's really just being drained of all of his fluids.
At one point, the native walks in and is like, Nosferatu, and runs away. It's like the guy's just sitting there shaking, and it's like, help him.
There is a native in my frame.
I love that.
Great scene.
I want some makeup. Well, you don't get any. That got me.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah.
He gets pissed.
He's like, he's all like disappointed.
Yeah, he's like, I want makeup.
Yeah. I want to be beautiful.
Well, I think he wanted the girl to get close so he can smell her, and he wanted to eat her.
No, I don't even think it's that.
He actually wants to make up.
He's just like, this is fun. Like, I want
I want makeup. Yeah. Well, you don't get any.
I mean, how often does the guy who's been around for 2,000 years get to do something new and exciting?
Yeah.
You know?
I've never been in a movie.
Yeah.
He's looking around. Like, I love that throughout the whole movie. Willem Dafoe is always like looking around, taking everything.
Yeah, well, they get that scene where he's playing with the camera and he's just looking at pictures of sunlight.
Yes.
Right. You know?
He hasn't
seen it in forever.
Yeah. Which that piece I really love about this is that you're so old you forget like the basic things. Interview with a Vampire did it. Where
he forgot like where he came from.
He forgot how to make a bed and set a dinner table because he hasn't eaten in 2,000 years.
Right.
So it's like, what is setting a table? I don't remember what that is. Like, and he hates Dracula because of that.
Oh, he hates the movie Dracula.
Yeah,
He's like, he remembers how to do this shit.
That whole part.
I
didn't hear it. Like, I don't know what happened.
That's the best scene in the movie.
Scene.
Yeah. I got like nothing out of that because the version I was watching had fucked up sound.
Oh.
So
I do like the scene where he introduces everybody to Orlok.
They're all terrified.
He's like, meet Count Orlok, and he's standing in like this cave, and it's all backlit, and he's in like silhouette.
Well, that's a scene from the movie, right?
Yeah. It's like a shot taken from the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
And Eddie Izzard plays the star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the guy's name. Do you?
Nutter,
Gustav.
right? Gustav van Wagenheim.
Gustav.
But he does a wonderful job.
Gustav, are you happy him to be your neighbor? He's just sitting there terrified.
So real quick about Wagenheim, I looked into him a bit. Successful actor in Germany. At some point, as a Jewish man, something happens in Germany which forces him to leave.
What?
A little thing called the Holocaust. And he has to leave Germany. And he goes to the Soviet Union to live there. And he's like, these commies suck.
What a dumb fuck. Like, of all the places to go.
Well, he just has to get out
We're
quick.
also talking about a long time ago. He probably doesn't know everything.
He just had to get out. So he gets out. He goes to the Soviet Union. He's like, these guys suck too. And he goes to America and he has a Hollywood career.
Yeah, well,
and
it's the best place in the
he
world
acted for a long time.
I guess this is in the 30s.
When
20s.
he left, he died in like 44. He actually, ironically, ended up playing a Nazi in a lot of American productions.
He's a German.
He's a German guy.
He speaks German.
And they're like, he became like a token Nazi, ironically.
Wow, what a great time to be a German in Hollywood, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just get jobs left and right.
Yeah. Like, how many fucking World War II movies came out between 1950 and 1980?
You're just getting rolled left and right.
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like, follow Dafoe down this tunnel. And that's when the guy gets bit. And he's like, where did you find him? He's like, don't worry about it.
He says he found him in there.
Oh, yeah.
I found him in the cave.
I found him in the cave, yes. And he's like, he's not in this for fame or anything. He's chasing a different ghost.
Yeah. He's a method actor.
Now the guy is sick. Dafoe is being creepy. The makeup scene, which we mentioned.
He wants to eat the whole crew.
Yes.
He wants a girl. And so in the movie.
Oh, I like this scene when he's looking at the contract, which is a scene they're filming from Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yes.
And he's like acting almost like weird, as Malkovich directs him.
Yeah. And he cuts himself.
Yes.
Gustav cuts himself, and then that's when he starts feeding like in front of the crew.
Well, that was Malkovich like
trying to make
him
it
cut himself.
Yes,
right?
he was guiding him towards
to do that.
He wants to get it on film that
because he knew
he's a vampire.
He knew that he wouldn't be able to resist.
Yeah.
So he attacks Eddie Izzard.
You're cutting. Watch out! And he just
and then he warps. Right? Like he like goes and he's on top of the other guy. By the
Well,
end
the
of
lights
scene.
go out.
The lights go out,
Yeah.
and now he's eating.
He's eating wolf.
He's eating Lepidus again.
Yeah. Poor wolf.
And I like
and nobody like says anything.
Gustav says, "I saw you." He goes, "I saw that."
Right.
And yeah, he's on to him.
Yeah. And I like this scene when he picks up the locket of the girl and he's looking. He goes, she has a beautiful bosom.
Yes. grab the locket from him. He just grabs it.
Yeah.
So I was about to say, in the movie, they were supposed to travel by ship. And he's like, yeah, I don't travel by ship. You're going to have to fly me. And he's like, do you know what the cost is going to be for that? No. So they build a ship outside like the castle.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that in the actual filming of Nosferatu, like all those sets were just like in the same spot.
Did they do that? Did they make a false ship for the movie?
I don't know. That's what I was about to ask.
So all the filming did take place in Wisteria, Germany. Is that
they say it? I forgot the name. It's like Wissen or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wissen.
It's something like that because they show a scene where they're carrying coffins out.
Wisberg. So they did all the filming there. Wait, not Wisberg. Wisberg is fictional. Where was it really?
Yeah, I didn't think it was that. Even though I would enthusiastically agreed with
you. Were very happy.
Yeah.
Wismar.
That's
close.
That's
they combined that with they combined two. Wismar is where it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So they filmed it there and they built all the shit.
So they did build the ship.
Like in the town square, they built all this stuff. You know.
All right. I like that. That's kind of like a close to reality thing. It probably wasn't because Shrek was like, I'm not going to sell.
No,
but,
it was just low budget.
Right.
You know, that's where they are.
Yeah. But I like it because it shows that Shrek is like in control now, or the Count.
Well, yeah, he's lost control of his own movie.
Yeah.
He's also beholden to some kind of financier thing that they get into a little bit, and he has to go back to Berlin to talk to them.
Yes.
To get more money.
And if he had
they lost Wolf. They got to replace him with Fritz.
The cameraman, yeah.
Well, if he had something like Riverside, he wouldn't have needed to fly back to Germany.
That was good. I got to give you props for that.
Yeah, I almost spit on my coffee. I wasn't expecting it.
Right? Yeah. If he had Riverside, he could have easily just telecommunicated, recorded
Space
the entire
and time
conversation.
have no meaning when Riverside comes into play.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, but Shrek doesn't have a reflection, so it would just be audio for him.
Yeah, Shrek, you have to talk to audio, but maybe you'll see like a floating
it's not
like
a mirror. He obviously can show up on camera.
That's true. But camera is film.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Can a vampire show up digitally?
I don't know, but I think we just created a new concept.
Yeah. The digital vampire.
Right. Like he goes on webcam, it's not there, you know? It's
Joe Walsh just fucking freaking out. I'm an analog man.
So Riverside is your optimal way to telecommunicate with people,
Definitely.
have instant ease of communication,
recording.
Great customer service, recording, 4K, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Use our promo code. It's in the link down below. Click it, sign up to Riverside.
Give it a try.
Come join us. Telecommunicate with the best service out there, riverside.com.
Telecommunicate with the best podcast via the best service.
You're going to say cockcast?
You know, it's just a natural thing.
Cockcast.
Really came out of your mouth.
Really,
easy.
really natural.
Cockcast. They just get dick pics, and every episode is dedicated to one dick
Welcome
pic.
to the Cockcast. We're here to talk about cocks and cock things.
Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Some guy does that.
You'll notice the shaft on this one. It's very nice.
Some guy
very
does
good.
that. Some guy does
It's a high-end shaft.
Yeah, this is good.
There's a farmer who rates cocks, and it's just
Why is he a farmer?
They said because you know, let me finish. They sent pictures of roosters, and he rates the cocks. He goes, "Oh, that's a nice black cock," and you see a rooster, and it's like a really big like rooster.
Oh, we got a California red.
He wears really short shorts. He's hysterical. He's so fucking funny.
Cockcast.
Yeah.
Can we copyright that and make a shirt?
The Cockcast.
Cockcast. Yeah, we'll have a rooster.
I would be very surprised if that didn't exist already.
Copyright. By the way, riverside.com.
Riverside.
All right, back to the movie.
They get Fritz.
Fritz.
So Fritz replaces Wolf because Wolf is
Prince of
basically
Thieves.
dead.
Yes.
No,
Cary Elwes.
Men in Tights.
Yeah,
horrible
Second
accent.
time on the show.
Horrible accent.
when was he in?
He was in what was he in? Cary Elwes. Oh, fuck. I was commenting on his accent in the last thing we had him in.
Yeah, you were.
Unlike some other Robin Hoods.
Fuck. I can speak with an English accent.
Yes.
God damn it! Why can't I remember what he was in?
8 Men Out.
8 Men Out. Was he in that?
Was it in 8 Men Out? I don't know.
He might be in that. That sounds.
We've watched so much stuff; it kind of blends together.
It's all a blur.
You know what I mean?
Now.
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
But anyway,
whatever.
He has a bad accent. I love him in this.
He is fun in this.
He just immediately pulls out a pistol and starts shooting.
He's the eccentric, crazy guy.
Yes.
Glory. He was in Glory.
Oh, he's in
yeah,
Glory.
that was close. That was close enough.
Yeah.
Close in the time period, right?
He's also in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Is he?
Yeah.
Do you know who Greta is played by?
No.
The wife who gets killed in Braveheart.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
her?
Yeah, look it up. Yeah.
Oh,
it's her.
wow.
Murren?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Fantastic,
She's in
right?
something else.
She's in a lot, apparently. When I looked it up, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
She has a great rack.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you wanted to see it, it's in this.
Shadow of the Vampire, which
Great
made
movie.
it. I thought YouTube couldn't show nudity, by the way.
They must not have caught it yet.
They
Yeah,
didn't care.
right?
We watched the movie on YouTube.
Now that we
It's
said
not
it,
available
it's gone.
anywhere.
Now that we said it, that's going to get a... Oh, it might be 18 and older, and we just kind of like clicked it.
Maybe.
You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know.
But I still think 18 and older still can't show nudity.
Yeah, I
on
thought
YouTube.
YouTube wasn't allowed to have it.
Steve, take your top off. This is going on YouTube.
I don't have tits.
Brian, take your top
Brian,
off.
take your top
ha,
off.
ha, fat guy, show your tits.
How come you can make fat jokes all day, but I do one, and you're like, fuck you. That's hack.
Yeah, he said he was...
He literally makes fat jokes every
becoming
3
the whale.
seconds. I do one in like the history of the show, and he comes at me like I'm a piece of shit.
I didn't come at you. I cut off your punchline. I'm gonna make fun of myself. I'm not gonna let you do it, shithead.
You got to... If you're doing the subtle fat joke, you just got to lay it up to him. He'll finish it. Don't insult the man.
But he talked to me like I was wrong for doing it.
You're not wrong.
Like that's not a concept.
No,
that,
you're
that
insulting.
we joke about.
You're insulting him.
I just wanted to step on your punchline. I just wanted
You're better than this, Ant.
Yeah. I expect more from you.
I'm so disappointed in the avenue of humor you decided to go down.
But anyway, I'm a fat piece of shit.
I get winded by the end of the show. I'm so fat.
Yeah, he did it again.
He does 18 an episode. I do 1. What the fuck? That was out of line.
That's fucked up, man.
So they visit Orlok's coffin, and they're like, he's a real vampire. He found a real vampire, and they're like, no way. But then at night, as you said, she has a great rack. Greta is now topless in bed, freaking out.
Oh,
and
you
like,
skipped a lot.
Not really. I didn't.
Yeah.
Greta shows up. No, Greta shows up.
Oh yeah, no, Beaver's right. Yeah, they have this moment where she's doing morphine.
Yeah.
With Cary Elwes.
But she wasn't. They said it was morphine. She was actually bit already. He was feeding on her all night.
You think so? I think she was doing morphine.
She was under a trance.
No, I don't think he had been feeding her.
He literally says it. Malkovich says it while they're recording. He's
Malkovich.
like, you're obsessed with her. You've been feeding on her all night. He was telling the truth.
No. He's directing the scene.
Yeah.
So why does she have blood pouring out of her mouth?
She doesn't have blood.
She doesn't.
Yes, she
no.
does. In the scene when she's topless, yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
To be fair, I wasn't looking at her mouth at that moment.
Exactly. Rewatch the scene. She's freaking out and she has blood coming out of her mouth. And if you think back to Dracula, when they were in trance and they're all like laughing and having fun when realistically they got bit.
So I watched Nosferatu, and I'm pretty sure that he's directing what happens in the end of that movie. In that like scene when Malkovich is talking at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that was like I don't think he had bit her yet, because he's saving up for the end of the movie. The whole thing is that's like the thing that he's using to kind of control Shrek, is giving her to him at the end of the movie.
Yeah, but Shrek is still
His love.
His life is still he's still in control though. I thought he was trying to get more out of it.
No, because he uses that throughout the movie. He's like,
okay.
Yeah, it sets up the end confrontation.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's like, stop eating my cast and crew. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, don't forget, don't think I can't hurt you.
And he's like, how would you harm me? I cannot harm myself.
Yeah. you don't need the script, girl. He's like, you don't need this person. I'm gonna eat this person.
But while he's away in Berlin, Malkovich, they have this scene that we kind of referenced before.
Yes,
where he has a long conversation with two guys from the crew.
It's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah, and he eats a bat.
Yes.
In front of them.
Now, grabs a bat out of thin air.
Yeah.
I thought he said wear a
violently.
pompadour hat.
Bite the head off a bat.
And if that happened in front of you, I don't care who you are, you got to freak out. If I just catch a bat like instantly
And eat it,
and even just catching it alone is pretty impressive.
I would praise you for your acting ability.
You wouldn't praise me for my athletic ability to capture the bat, just everything. You'd be like, you're such a method actor.
I'd be like, we're starting a Black Sabbath cover band.
What an artisan.
An artist. So there's a lot of drugs going on in this set.
Yeah, there's a lot of booze and stuff like
Probably.
that. It's
It's
Germany.
Weimar. They're doing heroin.
20s, right?
Yeah.
And I love they're like, how come you can't make more vampires? And he's like, I'm too old to make vampires now.
And he's like, I remember I couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
He says he feeds like an old man peas.
Yeah.
Sometimes all at once, sometimes as a slow drip.
And I love when he's like, a woman turned him.
Yeah.
You know?
And he kind of he used to remember her face, but not anymore, and he gets upset about that.
Yeah. And then they go, what an actor.
Yeah. What dedication.
And then the new director of photography shows up, Cary Elwes.
Relative of John?
Yes. Also quarterback. So now we get the famous coffin scene where they go.
He rises.
It rises. It's a cool shot.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's a real fucking vampire. And I love the scene when Elwes is talking to Dafoe and about like philosophy and shit. And he's like,
you like Plato?
I knew Plato.
I knew him.
How could I have known?
How old is this guy that he knew Plato?
Yes, he's thousands
of years old.
He was Plato's stepchild.
Like Parman.
Yes. Reality casts a shadow.
Well, Frederick is caught on laudanum.
Laudanum. Is he? I thought he was. Is that what they say it is?
Well, he lost his shit and he's like, yep, he's on laudanum. And he admits, though, he's like, yeah, this is, he's not an actor. I found him. He's a vampire. And I promised him Greta. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Tells him he found him in like an old ruined castle.
Old book. Yeah, that told him about it.
And he's like, hey, I'm going to make a vampire movie. But he surrounded himself with like crazy symbols on the wall.
Including a swastika.
Is there one on?
There's a swastika.
There's
on
one
the wall,
swastika.
Yeah. That would have been in the air. You know?
So let's talk a little bit real quick about Nosferatu.
Okay.
The movie.
So it releases in Germany in 1922.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe that Nosferatu, and I don't believe this is Munrau's attempt. They believe that it is a coded movie.
Wait, Munrau?
What?
Murnau.
Sorry,
Oh,
Murnau.
I wasn't sure if it was.
No.
Yeah, okay.
So they believe it is a coded attempt at anti-Semitism and introducing the idea of Jews as like bloodsuckers. Max Schreck, if you look at the images, he looks kind of like anti-Jewish propaganda that would start popping up shortly after.
You mean hook nose?
He has the hook nose. He has
vampire.
he has long fingers. And in fact, the chief editor of Der Stürmer was at the premiere of Nosferatu and was heavily influenced by this.
So I actually saw something about this too. I think that was that guy making this more than it actually is.
You think so?
Yeah, I
don't
think that
think,
guy
yeah.
wanted to see
Yeah, he
things
wanted to
that
see
were
them,
not in the
yeah.
movie and decided to just run with it.
Yeah.
What do you think? You watched it. I didn't
So
watch it.
I watched the movie. I did think he specifically looks Jewish at times. Like he has.
So you think Jews look like vampire men?
No.
Rat, bat,
But
people.
He has like. No, he has.
Are you anti-Semite?
Brian, yeah.
Yeah, the Jew.
This dude watches the first scene. That's a Jew if I've ever seen one.
Aha!
The Jewish Nazi.
Game recognizes game.
I'm the bullshit lie they always tell you about Hitler, where they're like, "Did you know Hitler was a Jew?" It's actually me. No, like there's at one point where he has almost like a hat when you watch Nosferatu, and it kind of looks like the Orthodox Jew hat, not the yarmulke. I don't know what.
Isn't that the big hockey puck?
Yeah, but isn't that the?
I see those in Williamsburg.
Yeah, he has kind of like
but
almost
isn't
something
that
like
also just an Eastern European winter hat? Yeah, that's all it is.
No, I don't think
Like
it
when
is.
George Costanza had one.
Yeah. He had a big Russian hat.
It's just a big hat with it's a big hat. I don't think it has anything to do with the Orthodox.
Look, I can understand that interpretation. I don't think it's the intent, but you know, because someone who was in charge of,
I think the Der Stürmer guy had probably had a motivation in doing this.
Yeah, I think it's something that you have when we're talking about this movie. Due to that importance, you have to mention it.
Of course. I mean, it's the 1920s Germany. Obviously, Nazism is coming into its own at that exact moment.
Exactly.
These guys are around. They're looking for things they can do to push their agenda and their mindset. And obviously, a hit movie is going to be...
Films don't push agendas.
Exactly. A hit movie is going to be fertile ground for propaganda.
Now, in this movie, John Malkovich has nothing but crosses all over the wall. And there's one swastika. And it's such a weird choice that...
There's some that are not crosses or swastika. There's like symbols that are confusing.
They look like lines. But the two that are clear, you see crosses and you see the swastika. I feel like the swastika, and the way it is in frame is it's in the middle of the frame.
Yeah,
because Malkovich is on the right, the swastika's is like the middle. And to the left is, I forget who he's talking to, the person he's talking to. But it's there because I feel like it's a hint to the anti-Semitic influence or the supposed one that is within the movie, and that's their nod to it without addressing any of the real shit in the movie
I saw
directly.
That differently.
Well, why do you think they put it there?
I think when you are a German director, you're in Germany. Around that time, like you said, Nazism is on the rise.
Would the swastika have been that big in Germany, though, at that time?
Oh, he would have seen it.
He would have seen it. You didn't. When you are on drugs and you're
actually, you know what? It's
God
1920. I'm sorry. It's just that might be a bit early.
1921.
Still, that's still a bit early.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's something that we know as to reflect that. You're not. It could have easily been an eagle, and we would have been like, "Oh yeah, we know what that is." Most people won't.
But I think they put that in for us, for the modern audience.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true to that character in that moment in time.
I think it is. I think it is true to that because he's dealing with everything around him, the vampire, which is why there's a cross, the government, which is why there's a swastika, and he's losing his mind. And let me finish. Everything is coming out of him, and he's having a fit and drawing on the wall. So he's just drawing the stuff around him. That's all. I think if you read into it too much.
Else on the, I didn't really.
There is. There's a bunch of stuff on the wall.
I'll be honest. I didn't see the swastika.
It's there. Poorly drawn.
Are there like other philosophy?
There's a ton of stuff on the wall.
So that means like he's looking into different views of the world.
He's just losing his mind.
He's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I think when you want
to put anti-Semitism in it, then it works because you see a symbol of anti-Semitism. It easily could have been an upside down cross, and it would have been like, he's a Satanist, and it's like, no, he's just drawing shit.
Is there any chance that that's there because he's looking into the Hindu shit, where that's really where the swastika
honestly,
comes from?
all the symbols to me, it looked like crosses, various lines, and a swastika. Like it wasn't like he did like an Ankh or anything like that. You know, it looked like shit that was easily recognizable. And the swastika wasn't like an official thing of the National Socialist Party until 1930.
Okay.
So it still is 8 years away.
Yeah.
So I really
could have been Hindu.
I think that's just for modern audiences. That's honestly my interpretation of it.
Sure, yeah.
It's like a recognizable thing. Everybody knows what it is. So now we get you know, Nosferatu goes to Shrek and he's like, I want to talk to Fiona.
What? Nosferatu went to the swamp?
Yeah. No, so
get these fairy tale creatures out of it.
It's him just sitting there with the clothes. Yeah, he was next to the fucking wolf.
So do you know that there's a SpongeBob episode with Nosferatu in it?
No.
Like using the footage of Max Shrek.
Really?
And apparently, like, if you look at the letterbox for Nosferatu, because I rated it the other day after I watched it. It's all like younger people being like, I watched this because he's in SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah?
And I needed to know what the deal with it is.
That's funny.
And I had like a picture.
I didn't watch SpongeBob. That was kind of after my time.
I had a picture of Nosferatu up on my laptop, and a student walked by, and he was like, why do you have Nosferatu on your laptop? He's like, that's the guy from SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's in SpongeBob. And I was like, tell me about this. And he's like, well, he's a character in SpongeBob. And then I went and watched the movie because of that. So it's like probably...
Is it one episode, or is he like in it all the time?
I don't know. But I know he's in it. At least enough where kids have went and were like, I need to know about this.
I respect
and
that.
have watched Nosferatu.
Wow.
Because of SpongeBob.
I respect that. I'm happy to hear that that's how it like spreads though, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny.
So I love he's like what's his face? Dafoe is like, she's here, isn't she?
You are not having her until we're done.
Not done with my picture.
Yeah.
It's not your picture anymore.
He's wooing over Greta.
Yeah.
And when they start filming, she's like uncomfortable at like right out the gate. She's like, well, what's going on? There's nobody here.
Did we skip where he figures out they've set a trap for him?
No, that's now.
Next.
That's coming up. So he's clearly wooing over Greta. Like he's getting handsy. He like opens up a chair for her. And when they start filming,
what a gentleman.
Yeah. When they start filming, she looks over to the mirror and he has no reflection. Mm-hmm. And she's losing her mind.
That's the final scene.
We're in this final scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She's losing her mind and they're like, give her drugs, calm her down.
Yep.
You know, like
they shoot her up with heroin.
Shoot her up and she's just,
and like, yeah, we're gonna sacrifice you to Shrek.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be your scene. This is what you're going to be memorized, like immortalized for, is you dying to a vampire. Which I like. I like that idea. Yeah, because it's true.
Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Classic Hollywood.
Malkovich, to put her at ease, said, "Hey, now you're an all-star. Get the game on. Go play.
Go play."
He just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you Steve from Smash Mouth?
Is that his name, Steve?
Yeah, that's the guy who died.
So,
like, terrible death too. Like he was
brutal alcohol,
horrible alcoholic.
Yeah.
Was in hospice at like age 50.
That's brutal.
He died really young.
So that fucking Smash Mouth had like 5 hits in 2001,
Yep.
and then just disappeared.
Well, they just coasted on that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you know,
Those Shrek dollars really helped.
Big Shrek money.
Yeah.
big Shrek bucks.
Big
Yeah.
Shrek.
R.I.P.
All right.
Shrek bucks are special dollars you can get and use at Universal Studios.
Like Jeffrey dollars.
Yeah, you go in and you're like, can I have 10 Shrek bucks, please? Universal, call me. Let's get you using Shrek bucks.
Shrek coin.
You know the Shrek coin.
Ooh, I can make that.
Okay,
I can make that. I guarantee you that'll be big.
Yeah, let's rug pull everybody. Invest in Shrek coin.
Yeah. Get in early, get out early. You'll make a killing.
So Malkovich is kind of obsessive in this, right?
Yeah,
of course.
He's
well,
driven.
he's lost it. He's lost it.
Do you know what
completely.
probably would have helped him be a more balanced individual?
What?
If he used an online therapy service like BetterHelp.
Oh, what's that?
BetterHelp.com is an online therapy tool
You upset Ant.
that will allow you to talk to a licensed therapist from the comfort of your own home.
Ant might need it because
Yeah.
he had to move away from the mic for that one.
You don't got to go anywhere. You could be in your pajamas. Talk to an online
You can
licensed
open it up on
therapist
your
today.
phone right now. Just bring it up and talk to someone while we
If you're a
finish this.
vampire struggling with depression, from your cave, if you can get Wi-Fi,
From your
maybe you
cave.
take a tunnel near the local Starbucks, you feed off their Wi-Fi, you can talk to a licensed
Was
therapist.
feeding off the Wi-Fi a nice pun?
No, but let's go with yes now.
Wi-Fi is the name of the barista.
Yeah, I'm Wi-Fi. I make your latte. It's Wi-Fi, but if you use cute, you could call me
BetterHelp.
Wi-Fi.
You get a nice discount if you use our code. You know, it's good. It's accessible. Go for it. Sign up.
Sign up today.
Help yourself today.
BetterHelp.com.
Yeah, help
Click
yourself
our
today.
promo code.
Nothing wrong with getting help.
Get mentally stable.
Yeah, we do a good job helping you, keeping you happy, laughing. But you know, sometimes you need a little extra.
Need
Look at
that
this guy.
push.
Look at him making you laugh.
I've said like 2 words in the last 10 minutes.
Ant will make you laugh. Steve will make you think. I will make you cry when you gaze upon what I've done to myself.
You get everything.
How many is that? Can we get a count for the episode?
Maybe I'll put up a fat joke counter.
God forbid you open your damn mouth again.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
So,
is there any? Just I'm thinking about BetterHelp.
Yeah,
and you can cut this if you want to. But is there any
Sure.
way we can tell the story you told me on the way here about someone who needs
that we
BetterHelp?
can't do.
We can't do that.
But he could use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear this.
We need permission. We can't.
No, I'm not.
Oh, off mic. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
But we can't. On.
Okay.
Yeah. Take a beat. So, that's the film. They calm her down via drugs, and now he's like, "I'm taking her now."
Yep. I
And-
can't wait.
And now it just turns to a snuff film.
Yes.
So they're just recording. And they're like, "We need a different angle." And as she's getting killed, they move.
He
the
starts
camera.
eating her, and then Cary Elwes whips out a gun, shoots him, and
Yes.
he laughs at him, and then just breaks his neck.
Yes. He starts killing everybody, and he's going to kill
And
Malkovich.
Malkovich keeps recording.
Yes.
And Malkovich is like,
Malkovich is so insane. He
Yeah.
just goes, "No, you missed your mark. Go back to your
Go
spot."
back to your
Yes.
And then he's like, "All right," and he goes back and starts eating.
Well, he
her
says
again.
something really. If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
Right.
So you got to get back in.
Mhm.
You know.
It's almost like Heather.
Was that a
from Blair
nod?
Witch.
Was that a nod to just Hollywood in general? That little moment,
I guess.
like we're watching people
He's saying
sacrifice their
something
lives for
about
this.
like art.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
film
and sacrifice
yeah.
and legacy and all that
Right.
history.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Is Dafoe high on morphine from
Yes.
her? He is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He ate her blood and he got drugged out.
Yeah, he
That's
kind
what
of
I
he fell
thought.
asleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a drugged up shorty.
He falls
Yeah.
asleep
because
yeah.
she's not dead yet. She's still alive and breathing,
Yeah.
and it's just like he's just and his eyes are open.
Yeah. They try to open the window, like to get light in,
This
and
is
it
what he
doesn't
was
work.
talking about.
Well,
Shrek knew that was happening.
Earlier, they saw that they had rigged a thing where the chain, like they hit a thing and a chain pulls a latch open and then lets the sun in.
Yes,
And
Shrek found it.
he found it and he
Yeah.
disabled it.
Yeah.
So when they tried to do it, it didn't work.
You thought
and,
you were gonna get me,
And
but
then just
ah.
as he's filming him, some men come, I guess just by sheer luck, and open
was the
it
crew.
up. Yeah, the crew opens up and he gets hit with the sun and
Kills him.
he is incinerated. Now I found out that the lore that vampires get incinerated by the sunlight
Mhm.
comes from Nosferatu. It comes from the movie Nosferatu.
Really?
And
It wasn't
Yes.
in Dracula?
in
No.
Dracula. He's just like weakened.
He's
by it,
weakened
and
in
he
the
can
sun.
walk
It does
around.
not light them on fire.
Yeah,
But
Ah,
this
I
is
see.
so culturally impactful that became
the lore.
the lore of
Right.
vampires.
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah.
I like that.
Where it's like you could use that to kind of defend some Twilight shit if you wanted,
Mhm.
because people are like, they go out in the sun. It's like, well, technically they were always able to go out in the sun
Mhm.
before Nosferatu.
They
Yeah.
just didn't twinkle.
It's like it's like zombies. Like originally it wasn't like shoot
Oh,
them
they
in
couldn't
the,
run.
or they didn't eat brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where the brains things comes from, right?
Is that from Return of the Living Dead?
Return of the Living Dead, not Dawn of the Dead or
Mhm.
Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Because
right.
have you ever seen Return of the Living Dead?
Yes, I have.
You actually saw that?
Yeah, I have it on DVD. It's a good movie.
Return of the Living Dead.
Yes, with the naked girl in the
Yes.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched it together.
It's great.
I am stunned that you watched it.
Why? It's awesome.
What?
I like zombie movies.
Yeah,
What's the
but
song in the one?
I once slept with the devil. It was really no big thrill.
that didn't seem like something you would enjoy.
Wasn't there like a pop?
It
song?
doesn't, but I like it.
Okay.
Was there like a pop rock song playing?
Do you want to party?
Yeah.
It's
I watched
party time.
I've
the
seen it
making
multiple
of it.
times,
I watched the
yeah.
making of it. It like broke the director. He never wanted to do anything ever again. It was like the hardest shoot he's ever.
You ever
dealt
see
with.
the sequel?
No.
It sucks. Don't watch it. The first one's awesome though.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Okay,
great.
It's a cult classic.
I had no clue you liked it.
Yeah, zombie movies I like.
I know
generally.
you like zombies, but that one, it's just like so 80s and trashy.
Yeah.
That like that's
Yeah,
not,
it's like something I never would put on, but
yeah.
for whatever reason, my dad bought the DVD when I was a teenager.
Okay.
So it just got thrown on at some point, and I was like, I like this.
Okay.
It's fun. Do you like both of you guys? Nice little question. Do you like the fast moving zombies or the slow?
I prefer slow.
I like them both. I don't
Like
have a
both.
problem with the runners.
I like fast.
They seem
It's
more
scarier.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's like you have to be on your toes more.
So I feel to me, have you guys ever had the zombie nightmare?
Yes.
So to me, what I always find scary is that like it's an inevitability coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that to me is like what I find more scary.
Right.
I like
Whereas,
Shaun of the Dead too. Though.
I love Shaun
They're
of the
slow
Dead.
moving, but they're good.
Zombies were so huge in like I'd say like 2005 till probably 2012.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they're all over.
Nonstop, everything.
We got into it a little bit. I know
Left 4 Dead, bro.
We were obsessed with Left 4 Dead, the game.
Game was awesome,
and we love. I remember we were real excited for Zombieland when that came out.
Zombieland's good.
Yeah,
both of them.
And I remember I liked. It was a George Romero movie that came out around that time.
Land of
the Dead. Yeah. And I know that
that's shit.
People hate that. I liked it.
It's good.
You know,
Land of the Dead. Is that the one with John Leguizamo?
I think he's in it. Yeah, I saw it in theaters. That's the only time I saw it. Do you remember Fido? Me and you watched it. Fido was a movie about a world after the zombie apocalypse, and they had like rebuilt society, but now there's zombies. And like there was a little kid who had a pet zombie, and he named it Fido.
Me and you watched
Me
this?
and you watched. We loved it.
I recognize the poster.
Yeah, we watched this at your house.
That does sound like it's from
it's like a comedy.
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead, yeah.
I recognize the poster. I cannot recall the movie at all.
Can I see the poster?
Yeah.
Can you pass?
If you put it on, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember this." And it was like a 1950s world that
with just zombies.
It was like Leave It to Beaver, but with zombies.
Oh yeah, I never seen that.
Yeah, we're still in the
It's good.
What are we called? We're still in the spooky season. Maybe I'll throw that on this year.
And there was the other one. I think it was called Dead Snow.
Dead Snow,
yes,
which was
one,
zombies in like the Norwegian Alps.
Yeah,
with fucking Nazi. They
They're
were Nazi
zombies.
zombies. Yep, there was that. Oh, and Dead Heist, which is my favorite movie ever.
Dead Heist.
A lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Dead Heist was a hood like black guys trying to fucking rob a bank, but zombies come. And
Yeah,
that's
fucking
cool.
It's fucking great.
It's like Dusk Till Dawn,
but zombies.
But zombies.
But with like gangsters in the hood.
I like that.
I remember we stayed up one night till like 6 a.m. watching it. Dead Heist.
Yeah. Dead Heist.
Did you ever watch The Evil Deads?
Yeah.
Well, the first one I've seen.
All right, we got to watch the second one. I got to get you into Evil
New
Dead.
one was good. I liked it.
The new one was solid. I liked it.
It wasn't like the lore was a little weird, but it was good.
All right, while we're talking about horror movies,
Sure.
I got a recommendation.
Okay.
For us or just listeners in general?
Everybody.
Okay.
All right, if you like Evil Dead or you like comedy horror, I stumbled upon something that I really consider to be a hidden gem.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
It's called Star Wars.
Yeah, the biggest thing ever. What a hidden gem.
It's called The Hazing. It's
Hazing.
like a horror comedy from 2004. That's very 2004.
That I like.
Yep.
And it's like this frat house is mixed with a sorority and they're doing their hazing together.
Like Lambda, 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 and Omega Mu.
Exactly. And they have to go to this creepy house and like there's like Evil Dead style happenings that occur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I really, really liked it. A lot of nudity, decent horror bits. Is it
like comedy like Cabin in the Woods kind of?
No, it's like Evil Dead style. There's clear references to Evil Dead.
Okay.
At one point, like they have like a picture of Bruce Campbell, just being like, "Here's Bruce Campbell."
That's good. No, but
He was in
like
Congo.
that kind of like
Yes.
Like the Cabin in the Woods is one of my favorite comedy horrors.
I love Cabin in the
that.
Woods.
Remember when we just randomly watched that and it's like this is like incredible.
We went to go see that in the theater.
Yeah.
I wasn't that into it.
No,
Oh, really? Rewatch it.
I'd give it another chance.
Yeah,
I think you'll like it more.
I have it if you want it. But I guess so. He dies.
Yep.
They come in and that's it. That's the movie.
That's the wrap.
Yeah.
And Nosferatu.
We saw they died.
Nosferatu goes on to have a huge, huge legacy.
And nobody thought like that's an evil woman.
Yeah.
God damn. She's quoting Roman military shit.
With like
disturbing outcomes
with the
death of
emotion
children.
of like fucking June Cleaver.
What is that?
Hillary Clinton. Talking about the death of Gaddafi.
He died. Like a live interview, and nobody was just like, we got to get this person out. They got to get out. Oh, God. I'm going to get black back later for saying this. What do we rate this?
So, I want to talk about one other horror movie real quick.
Okay. Which one?
So, what?
There's a snake. I don't know.
Anaconda.
So, this guy, he goes and he lets this woman's kid loose, and he replaces the kid with a little person.
Oh.
And the little
I know this.
The little person is hiding in the little kid's bed, and the woman comes home and she discovers
he almost made it. He
discovers that the little kid is actually in fact a little person.
I knew that without even.
And
I've heard this sounds familiar.
And the main guy.
The second he goes, I want to do one more. I'm like, oh, okay.
And the guy who let the kid loose, he actually, his jeans were so tight, he was forced to move like Frankenstein as he's chasing the kid.
That's right.
Goddamn. What do you rate?
Very spooky episode.
What do you rate that movie?
Is that one of the most like greatest visual comedy scenes? Him trying to take the pants
off. So fucking funny. His physical, Michael Richards is like one of the greatest physical comedians ever.
Yeah.
Like the scene, so there's a scene where he gets arrested, and at the end, he has to sit in a chair, but his jeans are so tight he can't move his legs.
He slides.
And he's sliding all over. It's so fucking funny.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
So I give this movie a 7.5.
Okay, I'm pretty close to that. I give it an 8.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
7.
Where it's kind of almost unanimous.
Yeah, between 7 and 8, really good,
solid movie, enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's so much more funny than scary.
It's not setting anybody's world on fire, but it's like, I like that.
Willem Dafoe's performance is great, though.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's so rewatchable. I could watch this anytime.
Yeah, I would. I wish it was like streaming.
I'd like to watch it again with the sound proper so I get more out of it.
You'll probably boost it up to like an 8 if you get the right sound, but that's you.
And one other order of business.
All right.
I don't know what that is. That's stairs.
That's stairs. It looks like a person holding a lobster, maybe?
I don't think there was any prominent stairs in the movie. So what is the context here, Brian?
Well, that's the scene in Nosferatu where the shadow is by the staircase. He's walking up,
oh, is that his hands?
And you see like his hands, yeah.
That's a lobster. Or some clamping mechanism.
Yeah. It's a man holding a giant claw.
Yeah, like
like he's fixing like one of the claws at an arcade.
But why is his back foot massive? Is that the step or is that just
He has giant
thighs.
Yeah, it's dark February. He's hiding microfilm in his prosthetic ears.
He has giant tightness of the thighs and feet.
His thighs are huge. They're bigger than most of the steps. Well, that's a fantastic drawing. I don't think anybody would know what that is if you asked them what it was. Even if they knew the Nosferatu story and they were like, "Oh, this is based off that. What is it?" I don't think anybody would know. That's a bad one. That's a bad one.
All right.
Horrible. I'm actually upset now.
We're almost at the end of Spooktober, guys. We only have one more movie.
Do we?
Next week is the end of Spooktober.
Oh man.
And it's gonna drop a day early on Halloween.
Okay, cool.
So instead of Wednesday, this one will come out Tuesday.
I'm sure a lot of people will not go
October
out for
31st.
Halloween to listen.
Good luck.
I think so.
Good luck editing.
Yeah. Wait, me? Is it me this time? We've been going back and forth. So I don't know.
By the way, I want to give you some praise.
Me?
Yes.
What'd I do?
I like your editing. I think you do a wonderful job for the show.
He's been editing the last couple.
Yeah, I know, and they've sucked, and that's why I'm giving you praise right now.
What do you mean they sucked?
You don't put stuff in.
Yes, I do.
He's saying you put minimal effort.
Put minimal effort.
That's not true.
I don't know. I don't watch him because I don't watch the show. The show watches me.
You don't think I put... Wait, in the pick episode, you don't think there was enough stuff?
I referenced the fucking Godsmack commercial in the 300 episode like 8 times, and not once did it come up on the screen.
Bad move.
I put in Citizen Soldier.
No, the fucking Godsmack one.
I couldn't find it.
I can find it right now on YouTube.
I could not find the Godsmack commercial.
I find that very hard to believe, But
I put it on the day we did
the
show.
I know. We watched it on there.
I couldn't find the Godsmack commercial.
Yeah, so it goes back and forth between me and him. We bought him a new editing rig, so hopefully that helps him.
This is exciting.
You know what, though? It's not really going to help the minimal effort part.
I don't put in minimal effort.
Because he finished 2 episodes within a week, and I was like, I don't think that's possible. So we'll see. I'll watch the next few, and if it's a problem,
you told me you didn't even watch the last episode.
I never watch the episodes. I'm on them.
I watch them.
I watch them when I edit them. Because I want to make sure it's good. I have faith in you, which apparently it was misplaced according to him.
No, I put in clips. Fuck you.
I love when he gets angry.
This is bullshit. What the fuck do you do? I asked you to write a goddamn fucking minute-long thing for 6 fucking months. You're gonna get on me?
I wrote a whole script for a commercial that never happened.
Well, that's because something else happened around that time. It'll come out eventually. We were going to shoot at someone who can't be shot at the moment. That's all. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything you do. Like and subscribe.
There's not going to be a show next week.
It's coming out on Halloween. You get it and you like it.
It'll just be one picture posted on the Twitter. Sorry.
No, there's going to be an Instagram post. There's no editing done this week. We apologize for the delay.
We had technical problems. The problems were...
We're not going to tell the rest of the cast members, so we're just going to put this post out.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I got the episode out.
You did?
So
Why did you put the post out?
Because I didn't know I was going to be able to.
Why did you talk to us first?
You were on your honeymoon. He can't help. What's the point in bothering you? Why am I going to bother you on your fucking honeymoon? So you can freak out about it?
Yeah, but I saw the post anyway.
And then he freaked out about it.
I was like, we might have to run home.
Like I was in Canada and I'm watching just a wall of text messages of Beaver going, what's going on?
Yeah, what's happening?
Why is the show fed?
Why are we not coming out this week? And he's like, I got this, don't worry. And then I see the Instagram post. Yeah, it might not happen. It's 2 different things.
I made the post, then I figured out the problem, and I got it done.
Maybe we should remove his access to the Instagram.
He did get it done.
Yeah.
No, because then no one's going to talk to the listeners. He literally talks to anyone who does anything.
I did talk to one. I talked to one listener now. I did. It was very nice of her. She congratulated me on my wedding, and I finally responded to her. It was very nice.
I talk to them sometimes too.
Yeah.
Mutiny on this shit.
It's like the bounty.
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna fucking rape you with a stick of butter.
I don't think it would
be rape. I don't think it would be rape.
Can't be rape if you're willing.
If you like it.
All right. Say goodbye.
Bye, guys. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Be nice to Brian.
I get fucking messages 33% less root on my own fucking show.
Not only the listeners don't like him, you don't either.
No, that was me. I just said that, but I was looking at a mirror.
You made a spoof account 33% less. Just send it to him. Just fuck with him constantly.
Want to give a big thank you to everybody listening and or watching, I guess. Like and subscribe.
I think Brian needs better help.
Like and subscribe, all that shit. Review History Pod on Twitter. Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. You know the deal at this point. Follow me personally on all social media, at Brian Rupert, RUPPERT. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank or review every single movie I watch, even the ones in my personal life. Thank you to Tell Steve, Dave, Bry, Walt, Q, Get 'em, Lance Record in the studio. Follow us, leave us a review on Apple iTunes. All that, you know the fucking deal at this point. All right. We'll see you next time.
Happy
Bye.
Spooktober.
Yeah.